All right. During my meditation, I kind of had an idea of like the three things we need to focus on are our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Because when we change those, like we change. So, like, we have to take control of our mind because if we let our mind take control of us, like every thought in your head is not real. Like your mind is designed to keep you safe. It's designed to it's almost I don't want to say it's designed to stop you, but it almost is. Like it gives you every reason in the world why you can't do something and why you shouldn't make a change, why it's safer to play, why it's better to play it safe. Like all the things that could go wrong if you made a decision like we're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to take risks. You got to do A, B, and C, and if you don't do those, you're not successful. You're not on the right path. Where I feel like sometimes we have to take risks to step out of our comfort zone. So it kind of goes along with some of the stuff I've been, talking about lately, and like to elaborate more onto with that. Like we're the ones that have and it's not always an easy like change because we're so used to thinking a certain way and developing patterns of beliefs that we've had instilled in us from society, our parents, our peers, our professors, our teachers, like all these people that are supposed to know what's best for us. But at the end of the day, we're the only ones that really do. I mean, it's always good to have guidance. My coach is always giving me, ideas and we, chat about stuff and it helps. But I'm still the one that has to do the stuff that is meant for me. Like get on here and talk about the stuff that I talk about. We have similar thought processes and we do similar things, but we're not exactly the same. So and that's like the thing is like Trent Shelton talks about that too. Like everybody has their own like voice to express, and there's people out there that only I can reach, or there's things that only other people can do. It's not just about me. I try to share my own experience and hope that at least one person that watches each one of these videos gets something out of it that will help them in their lives, because that's what it's about. It's about sharing your stuff and then hopes that maybe someone else will catch on to it. And I feel like that's what I want this channel to be. I want to share all my experiences, all the knowledge that I've gained over the last 20 years when I started reading the Celestine Prophecy. And then it just kept going. And that's the thing is that it's a process. Like it hasn't been an easy journey. There's been twists and turns and stops and like times where I didn't believe in this stuff and times when I thought nah whatever. I almost gave up. There's times where I did give up for months. Shit, there's probably times when I gave up for years at times. I know before the pandemic I really wasn't growing at all, and then it was like once we had that break and we were able to do stuff more and I had so much time on my hands, I just started watching the stuff that's led me to do this. So again, you're never too old, you're never too young, you're never too anything to do anything. If you got something in your heart, do it. And like I always try to say is that there's something in you, in your soul, in your spirit, in yourself that no one else can feel, no one else can know, and no one else can tell you what it is. You have to figure that out for yourself. And I feel like sometimes our thoughts keep us from doing that. It's like, oh no, well, so and so said this, and we're not supposed to do that. If we take that risk, we're gonna be broke. But I'm beginning to see a lot of the people I've like read and heard their experiences. A lot of people had to take those risks. They had to step out of their comfort zone. Like you can always start and then adjust as you go, and you can always like f around and find out, and see what's gonna happen, and then you adjust to it. Again, at the end of the day, there's always a way out. You just might not see it in that moment, but you might, see it in the next moment if you take that first risk, that first step into doing something. I mean, it took me a good year to get on here after I really wanted to start the channel, and it just one day I was just like, all right, I did Unleash the Power Within, a Tony Robbins seminar, and as soon as it was over, I was like, I can't wait anymore. I got to do this. And then I just hopped on and started doing it, and I was nervous, real nervous. I mean, I just don't really, I'm not as nervous now. I mean, obviously, it's still a little like, the process is still a little nerve wracking at times. But it's more about just me getting on here and sitting here. If I worry about what I'm gonna say, if I worry about like all the things that could go wrong, if I worry about all the people that may or may not like me, then I wouldn't get on here and do it because I'd be so afraid and so like down, and all these thoughts that used to come into my head. I would listen to them until I learned that I thought people that did this stuff didn't have these thoughts. So I thought I was like abnormal. I was like, how am I going to do that? These people don't have these thoughts. And then you realize that that's just, everybody has those thoughts. But what I'm saying is you got to do it anyway. And then just because and then you think, oh, once you start doing it, they're going to go away. No, they don't. The thing is, you have to learn that it doesn't matter. And like I always say, there's always going to be someone who doesn't like what you have to say, and you just have to deal with it. It's okay. They're entitled to perceive you the way they want to, and that's fine. That's their journey to wherever it is they're trying to go. But that's the thing, is you have to like be centered and focused in your own. And I'm not saying be, selfish, but sometimes, like people say, sometimes you got to become selfish to become selfless, because you have to work on yourself first. You have to believe in yourself first, and you have to take little steps day by day to whatever direction, whatever goals, whatever it is you want to achieve. And you have to change this first, because if your thoughts aren't there, then and your beliefs aren't there, if you don't believe you can make that change, if you don't believe that you're more than the thoughts in your head that might be negative, then you're never going to step into the unknown and out of that comfort zone. And I remember Jack Canfield, I'm sure you guys probably heard of him, Chicken Soup for the Soul author. I was watching one of his seminars one time during the pandemic, and he said emotional freedom tapping changed his life. And it's like little tapping things where you tap on points as you're saying stuff. You like do these tapping things over and over for about 5-10 minutes, sometimes 15, 20. But the meditations, they guide you through the process, and you're doing it. And I'll tell you, man, it's something about tapping on those like pressure points, those acupuncture points, or whatever you want to call them, energy points in your body, that start to change the energy in your body and start to change the way you view yourself. And the more I started doing those every day, at least one every day in the beginning. I haven't done any lately. I probably need to get back to them, to be honest with you. But it kind of helped me feel more comfortable with who I was. It helped me relax. It's almost like it taps your nervous system into calming down, because that's where all these negative experiences, these negative thoughts are harbored. It's in your body. It's in your nervous system. So you can slowly, build it and release it and let it go. But some of the negative experiences we've had when we were younger, at least me, I know. I mean, everybody has them. It's just part of life, and that's the thing too, is that we're all human beings underneath everything that we do. So that was the start of it for me. Like, you can do them on like anxiety. They give you like positive affirmations almost like as you're going through it, and you tap it, and you just feel different when you're done. Even if you just do it even if you just tap on these points without saying everything, it will help you. And those are the points you just go over and over and over again. Now, before you do it, you set the intention on tapping on here, and then it like kind of set the intention of what you want to release or what you're trying to accomplish in the tapping thing, and then you just tap on these points. And I'll tell you, I thought it was crazy, but I'll tell you what, it works. It totally calms your nervous system down. Like if you have anxiety about going somewhere, do an anxiety one and tap for 10 minutes before you go. It's like some of the greatest things that we could do for ourselves are that take a little bit of time, but we live in a society that tells us we don't have enough time, because it guides us to do stuff that really isn't that important. And I tell you, for me, it started to turn like me. I had to become more important than the stuff outside for me, because if I didn't do that, I couldn't get on here and try to inspire other people to be good, or to do more, or to know that you can change, to know that you can get out of this brain that's trying to stop us from doing the things that we need to get done. It's always there. It's not going to change. Even today, I was like, should I get on here before I go to work? Should I do the, And then I was like, no. And then the idea came to me to start talking about this, and I was like, I don't care how much time I got to do. I got to get this done. Even if it means I can't eat. Well, I hurry up and slam some overnight oats, but. Uh, but anyway, so I was like, I got to get on here with this idea because it was so strong when I was when I was done with my meditation. I was like, I have to get on here and talk about this, because I feel like those are the things. You got to change your thoughts, change your beliefs, and then those will lead to you changing your actions. Like if you don't believe in emotional freedom tapping, you're not going to do it. But I'll tell you what, if you change your belief about it and actually take action and start doing it, you'll change your life. I mean, Jack Canfield wasn't lying. It started to change my life, and that's the thing, is like any little thing that we do, it'll help. Like I was saying the other day, the cold plunges, like it totally, like it helps so much with inflammation. I was so sore on the plane ride to Bali that, like, when I got there, because I'd been on the plane for like 20 some hours, my legs were sore. And I had no idea we were doing cold plunges. I had no idea. And then the next day, I did a cold plunge. And then when I got out, and then the next day I woke up and I was like, my legs didn't even really hurt at all. It was like, if any, like barely at all. And then after the second day of doing it, they didn't hurt at all. So it was like, I don't know. So it's like doing little things. Yeah, was it uncomfortable being in that water for 3 minutes? Absolutely. But after like the first 30 seconds, your body adjusts to it, and then you're just like, okay, and count it down. Now I only did like maybe 2 minutes the first day, and then 3 minutes, or two, and three. But like it was that build up. But that first 30 seconds, you're like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. There's like fire alarms going off. Woo, woo. Time to get out of this water. But anyway, but yeah, after you like calm down and start breathing, remember, all right, I got this, and keep telling yourself, I got this. And that's even the thing with changing your thoughts. I got this. And that's the thing, is sometimes some of us, I know I was in the past, I didn't believe I could do a lot of stuff that I'm doing now. That's why it took me so long to do this stuff, because I had to change my beliefs in myself. I had to change the thoughts in my head, not believe the ones that were telling me not to get on here and not do it. So again, and then by changing those beliefs and changing those thoughts, I was able to get on here and change my actions. So it's always, you got to start small, little by little, day by day. That's why I'm always emphasizing that. It just takes one little thing. Sometimes if you want to make a big change, just start little and do little. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to make a change. I haven't worked out in a long time, and I'm doing little stuff, and it's really little. It's only like riding the bike for 3 minutes here and there, but the more I've done it, doing one set of things, and I'm starting to get stronger. And then I'll just keep doing it and keep building little by little. And that's what I was talking about with New Year's resolutions. God, they were telling me a statistic on the radio the other day that if you made it this far already, you're like like ahead of 90% of the people. It's like, wow, 90% of the people stop within the first few weeks. It's like, and I think it's because it's like, let's go, it's the new year, let's go. And then you do it so hard. And don't get me wrong, there's still people that keep doing it, but like you burn yourself out sometimes. That's why I figure if you just start, and then and then by that time you're in shape, you're doing stuff. Like people are saying, oh, I haven't worked out in 4 years, I'm gonna go work out every day. Well, no, start by going once a week, and then twice a week, and then build yourself up to that, because then you'll slowly build your body back up to it. I didn't work out for years, and I went back and I started, and I know, and I went back and started working out 2 hours a day, and then I burnt myself out and didn't know what was happening until I finally learned that. And that's when I read a book that by Dan Millman that said that's what you got to do. That's what he did, and then it built up. But that's the thing, is that we gotta realize, you know, it starts slow and add up and keep going. But anyway, so uh, well, I lost my train of thought there. That's all right though. But anyway, like the thoughts, beliefs, and actions. We got to get rid of this survival mind. We can all do it. We can all just say, yesterday I got home from work and was tired because I worked different hours than I usually do, and I could have just came home, watched football, turned the TV on, kicked it up. Instead, I came right here and sat down and watched and finished watching the end of the class I'm taking right now. And I didn't want to do it. Everything in my brain said sit on that couch and relax. And I was like, no, I got to get this done. Screw that. Get it done first, and then watch, and then the couch. And it was a great talk. It inspired some of these things that I'm talking about today, and it had a really good meditation at the end that was just like, holy, you know what? So again, it's these little things that we have to overcome. We got to let the soul, the spirit, and that's what she was talking about. Like the ego is trying everything to do. It's so loud. It's yelling at you, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then the spirit whispers to you like, you got this. It's like, so, and we always think that because the voice that's louder in our head is the right one, and most of the time it's not. The ego screams, the spirit whispers. So start to listen to the whispers. Start to like let go of these thoughts that are in your head. Start believing in yourself. Start believing you can do more than you thought it was possible. And start looking for the answers. Start searching for it. Read a little bit more, even if it's just a little bit here and there. Just try to keep learning. Try to keep taking one step at a time until you get to that point. It keeps building and building and building. So, change these, battle these, change your beliefs and what's possible. Be open to anything, man. I know it just needs to be done. Have an open mind and you'll find the answers that you're looking for, and that will help you change your actions and help you change yourself for the better. And by doing that, any little thing, it doesn't have, whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. Just take little steps day by day. But anyway, all right, that's my message for today. Thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Like and subscribe. Any questions, comments, and I'll tell you, just keep going, man. Believe in yourself little by little, day by day. It'll all keep stacking on it, and before you know it, you'll be somewhere different. Bye.